Hi, Ohio Realtors. I'm Andrew Huffman, Assistant Vice President of Government Affairs at Ohio Realtors. I'm here today to explain the changes in House Bill 466 and their implications for residential real estate transactions. As you all know by now, one of the provisions included in the NAR settlement agreement, which took effect on August 17th, requires realtors operating in the MLS to enter into written representation agreements when representing homebuyers. Shortly after the settlement was announced, the Ohio Realtors legislative team worked to ensure that Ohio law was amended to reflect these industry changes and to create a statewide standard for the use of these agreements. We wanted to avoid a situation in which realtors operated under different guidelines than non-realtor licensees. This would have created confusion for Ohioans, and the industry needed consistency in the use of representation agreements between licensees and their clients. This work resulted in House Bill 466, which was introduced on March 27th and signed by the governor on July 24th. This important legislation creates a statewide standard for using the agreements and establishes a consistent framework for what they must contain. House Bill 466 will apply to all Ohio real estate licensees involved in residential transactions. House Bill 466 requires all licensees to enter into written agency agreements before engaging in specific activities on behalf of a buyer or seller. The agreement must be executed for those representing sellers before marketing or showing the seller's residential property. For those representing buyers, the agreement must be made before submitting an offer to purchase residential property on behalf of a purchaser or making an offer to lease a residential property if the lease is for 18 months or longer. It's important to note that the timing for the written agency agreement with buyers is slightly different in House Bill 466 than in the settlement agreement. House Bill 466 requires the agreement to be entered into prior to making an offer to purchase a property, while the terms of the settlement require the agreement to be entered into prior to touring a property. In other words, the NAR settlement, which applies to realtors, requires the agency agreement to be executed earlier in the home buying process. When developing House Bill 466, some lawmakers and stakeholders felt that before making an offer to purchase a property was a more appropriate time frame for legislation that would be codified into state law. House Bill 466 also creates a statewide standard for what the written agency agreements must contain. Under House Bill 466, a written agency agreement must contain an expiration date, a fair housing statement, a statement defining the practice known as block busting and stating that it's illegal, HUD's Equal Housing Opportunity logo, a statement that the licensee is appointed as an agent of the client and whether that agency relationship is exclusive or non-exclusive, the terms of compensation, a conspicuous statement that broker fees and commissions are not set by law, are fully negotiable and may be paid by the seller, the buyer, the landlord, the tenant, a third party, or by sharing or splitting the fees and commissions between brokers. Finally, the agreement must have a place for the buyer and seller to sign and date the document. The changes resulting from House Bill 466 go into effect on October 24th. The Ohio Realtors website provides additional information about these changes and provides sample agency agreements. The Ohio Division of Real Estate also provides helpful information on its website. Thank you for learning more about House Bill 466 and the important changes taking effect this fall. Please don't hesitate to contact anyone on our Legislative Affairs team with questions.